This video is brought to you by Oats Overnight. Stay tuned to find out how you can save money on your first order of oats. Over the last 7 years on YouTube, oh my god, I'm old, I've covered countless games, from big AAA titles to small indie games. Unfortunately for a lot of these games, the gaming industry is a tough and competitive market, and most games won't have longevity. Or in some cases, they won't even last a week. It can be because they can't retain a player base, or have trouble monetizing, or both. And any game that can't retain players and make money will ultimately die. I have covered dead games every year for 4 years now. You know, the song DEADGAMES, Dead Games. And if you want to watch those videos and understand why these games died, go for it. But today, I'm doing something a little differently. Over that time, I've become nostalgic for some of these games. Because while these games did shut down and a lot of them had a lot of problems, some of them had very unique gameplay and mechanics that aren't really anywhere in games these days. So today I want to discuss 3 dead games that I missed the most, and which ideas I think modern games should borrow or steal from them. These are the 3 dead games I missed the most. Starting with Spellbreak was a magical battle royale. What set it apart was that instead of weapons, you had gauntlets with magical abilities. These abilities were separated into 6 elements: fire, ice, stone, toxic, wind, and conduit. And they each had their own abilities that when combined would create so much chaos. Fire and ice could make steam, fire and stone made a fireball, fire and wind made a fire tornado. Okay, I guess there's other things outside of just fire, but those are the ones that I remember being really fond of. I was a fire main. I do think that this game was kind of ahead of its time, because so many of the gameplay mechanics that were prevalent in Spellbreak exist now in some capacity in Fortnite. In Fortnite, there are these gauntlets that you can use as movement, and you can also use them to attack. Whenever they introduce Marvel collabs, the gauntlets that they introduced, like Magneto's arms, and most recently Dr. Doom's, like, come on, look at this.
Whoa, 90 damage. I expected to be more. Right click. The laser is 15. Okay.
They feel like Spellbreak things. They even added Avatar: The Last Airbender to the game. And these abilities during that period was just like, come on. And I especially remember during Fortnite's Avatar collab, there were people on Twitter saying that they should make a battle royale that's just like this. Come on, people. It was right there. We could have had it all. So the whole time I was playing Fortnite with my friends, I found myself thinking, this does feel familiar. Oh, because it's freaking Spellbreak now. Obviously, Fortnite has guns, but you get my point. My point is that there's this cool equipment that give you mobility and specific abilities, and it's so Spellbreak coded. Unfortunately, Spellbreak did shut down completely in early 2023. But man, I do think a Spellbreak 2 or a spiritual successor could do something. The one element that needs to be reintroduced in a future game is mixing abilities. Sure, you can Bloodhound scan with Bangalore smokes as a wombo combo. What's that? Oh, they got rid of that? Well, you get my point. In games, there are combos, but not like the chemical combinations that you could come up with in Spellbreak. And they only had 6 elements. Imagine if they lasted longer and had significantly more elements. Do you know how many combinations that would be? Like, do the math. I think that's like 7 factorial. And no other game has really toyed with using these elemental combinations since. Man, all this dead game talk has gotten me kinda hungry. It's probably because when I wake up in the morning, sometimes I forget to eat breakfast. But now I found me a solution, and it requires little stress. Oats overnight. Oats overnight. Oats overnight. Overnight. Just open the pouch and open up. Pour the milk inside. Or use a milk substitute. Leave it in the fridge. Leave it in the fridge. Hey, now go out there and live. Go out there and live. Hey, leave it in the fridge. Leave it in the fridge. Hey, now go out there and live. Go out there and live. First-time buyers of Oats Overnight will receive 33% off their first order. It comes in a wide selection of flavors to choose from. So if you want to order some Oats Overnight, click the link in the description down below. Now, back to the video. Hyperscape was one of my favorite battle royales to come out. It had so much going for it. Ubisoft's backing, cool movement, and decent gunplay. One of the best aspects of the game was how simple looting was. You just find the same weapon or ability you had and it would upgrade. No need for attachments or unnecessary grinding. It was fast-paced with extreme verticality and tons of movement options. You could dash, you could fly up in the air and slam the ground, you could become a ball if you really want to. The point is, there were a ton of cool movement options you could use in this game. And it also had two of the coolest features that have never returned in modern gaming. First, let's talk about the revive mechanic. In Hyperscape, when you died, you were a ghost and could scout for your team and be useful. And you could be respawned at any enemy's dead body. It gave the dead players something to do, and it made respawning super easy, meaning there was just more action overall. This idea obviously doesn't fit all games, but if games wanted to try this in some capacity, they should. Apex could try this ghost idea as a character passive, or even make it an LTM. I think Fortnite is one of the most boring games when you're just dead, and could easily implement something similar to this because their revive mechanic is really outdated. Now, the second idea, and the one that I feel like can be used in every game, is the Twitch voting system. In Hyperscape, Twitch chat would vote for big events that would change the game, like low gravity, or unlimited ammo, or extra damage, etc., etc. Now, I don't think they need to be huge game-changing things, but this feature made the viewing experience so unique and is worth exploring in future games. As someone that hosts tournaments that are a little bit wacky, I wish there could be more of this fun audience element to just add some spice. Imagine for the Smackdown that Twitch had an integration in Apex Legends to ban the legends. Or imagine the chat can choose what comes in a care package. They can choose if it's a Kraber or not. These are just ideas for Apex, but new games could use it as well. Hyperscape had so many unique ideas and was a good game, but it just couldn't compete with peak Fortnite, peak Apex, and peak Warzone at the same time. Like seriously, all three of those games were firing on all cylinders. There was no way for another battle royale to compete. It was just way too late to get into the BR genre, unfortunately. Before you get mad at me for calling this a dead game, I am a Titanfall fan. I know you can still find a game in attrition, but that's about it. Or you can even set up a lobby on Northstar, but even that's kind of a ghost town now. Let's be honest with ourselves, Titanfall fans. This game is dead, and we are long overdue and deserve a sequel. Now that we've established this sad reality, let's talk about what this game has to offer that no multiplayer shooter had really ever captured. Peak movement. Since Titanfall 2, the only big multiplayer game that has even come close to capturing the magic of this game was Black Ops 3 and Infinite Warfare. But those games didn't have the same sauce, and Call of Duty will probably never try it again because Infinite Warfare was a flop, according to them. But a modern game, a true spiritual successor to Titanfall, could do it. Give us another multiplayer game with wall running, bunny hopping, double jumping, grapples, and stims. The children yearn for Titanfall, and if EA won't do it, then another gaming company should try. I just want to feel like a pilot again, and while single-player games like Ultra Kill and Ghost Runner have given me that feeling, it's just not the same if I'm not also assassinating real enemies while doing it. But for real though, if you haven't tried Ultra Kill or Ghost Runner, they're two of some of the coolest indie movement shooter type games, and if you're a fan of Titanfall, you'll love these games, so try them. Also, would you want a video of me covering indie games that have really cool movement mechanics? Because there's a lot of them, and I could easily cover them. Let me know. Anyways, hopefully one day we get a Titanfall 3, but until then, gaming companies need to step up and let the people run on walls and slide like we're in a McDonald's play place. That's what the people want. No, that's what the people need. Dead games! Over the years, so many games have come and so many games have gone. But just because they have left us, it doesn't mean we can't learn some things from these games. Sure, I can talk about what went wrong with these games, which I have multiple times. You can check out all my Dead Games videos. But I felt like it was time to talk about some of the more positive attributes that these games had to offer. And I really do hope that just because these games did not ultimately succeed, it does not mean that these cool things that they had to offer weren't good, because they were. So which Dead game are you most nostalgic for? Is it one that I just talked about today, or is it another game? And let me know which aspects of those games you think need to be implemented in future games. Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you later.